Hey, yeah, welcome. So let me tell you how this will work. I'll quickly explain each mistake and I'll give you an easy fix for it. Let's get to mistake number one. And this is a mistake I see lots of my students here in Korea making, which is translating directly. And why is this bad? Uh, well, it can lead to really strange English. Uh, Let me give you an example. So, for example, I await it with happiness. This is a little bit strange. We don't really say this. What we say is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Or I can't wait. These are really natural ways. So often a translation, it just sounds really strange. People will understand, and my philosophy is that communication is the most important thing. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to not have your grammar be perfect, but translating can lead us to the second mistake. Before we do that, let me give you the quick fix for the first mistake, which is translating directly. Well, learning and practicing full phrases, not words. Learning a list of vocabulary words is actually not the best way to learn to speak a language. You want to use chunking, and that's how I've learned Korean too. Yes, so um, I've tried to learn individual words, but that method does not work for me. I need to learn a full phrase. So, for example, 주말 잘 보내세요. Now, do I know what each individual thing means? Do I understand the grammar of it? A little, but I don't need to. I know it means have a nice weekend. And so I can use it immediately. I don't need to translate anything. So when you know what you want to say, finding not the translations, but the phrases. I have a whole book actually of useful phrases. I kind of forgot about that. There's a link somewhere to it. But yeah, getting the natural, authentic English. So learn and practice full phrases, not just individual words, and memorize those real English expressions the way that native speakers use them. Again, I am not someone who is into native speakerism. I think, everybody owns English, and all kinds of English are great. But if you want to sound natural and you want to get better at fixing the second mistake, then these expressions will help you. So mistake number two is speaking too slowly, or even not speaking, like waiting to speak because of fear. So this is a problem because it holds you back. If you really want to speak a language, you have to overcome fear and get comfortable being uncomfortable. You will make mistakes, absolutely. I mean, you're human. We all make mistakes, but I mean, even native speakers make mistakes when they're speaking. So it's a mindset thing. I have a lot of, I think I have a playlist about mindset somewhere here, but mindset is one of the biggest obstacles to overcome. So if you're going too slow because you're trying to translate, A, and B, because you're afraid of not doing it perfectly and you're thinking about the grammar and trying to be perfect, then you need a quick fix, right? And it's just not enjoyable, right? It's awkward, it's hard to enjoy when you're in this fear mindset. So, I have more than one solution for this problem. Quick fix, I'm going to give you two probably for this. The first is you want to focus on the rhythm, not on perfect grammar. And the third mistake is going to also help you with this. So it's totally okay to make mistakes. English speakers can really understand when, even if you don't speak perfectly. But communication is the most important thing. So the other fix for speaking too slowly because of fear, OMG, do you know what? I just forgot what it was. I forgot what I was going to say. See, speaking of mistakes, what was it? Well, there's the mindset shift. Ah, I got it. I remember. So often when we are afraid, we're afraid of being judged. We're very stuck in our head, and we don't want to make any mistakes. We're focused on ourself. But in a conversation, you really want your focus to be on the other person, right? So if you bring curiosity and you bring a desire to communicate, to be understood, it really shifts your focus onto the person you're talking to. So try to focus less on yourself and perfectionism and more on the person you're talking to. I have so much I could say about that. And if you're interested in more of these tips, give this video a like, and that will tell me to talk more about this and make more videos with more tips for you, especially live stream. Okay, so focus on the rhythm and not the grammar. I'm not saying grammar is not important, but it's a different, there's a time to focus on it, there's a time to work on it. But when it comes to speaking, you need to kind of forget about it and just get the words out. Native speakers are very understanding, and they're really not judging you. And if they are, that's their problem, not yours, right? All right, so if you have ever stayed silent because you were nervous, because of fear, type me in the chat. You're not alone. All right, let's go to mistake number 3. This is about ignoring listening practice. So lots of my students tell me they can understand me, but you know, maybe they're in a meeting with a bunch of native English speakers or fluent English speakers. See, mistakes, they happen. And they can't understand anything. Students can understand me when I speak slowly and clearly, but then they go into a meeting or another situation, and they can't understand anything. So you really need to make time for listening practice. Mistake number 3 is not doing that listening practice. If you can't hear real English well, you can't speak it naturally either. So the quick fix is spend just 5 minutes a day, right? Listening to real conversations. This could be a podcast, it can be YouTube, TV shows, not just the textbook English and English for a test. And you want to do this, the best way to do it is to find a video or a podcast that is related to something you are interested in. Like you should be really interested in it and want to know about it. And then you need to make sure that it's not too difficult. So it should, hopefully you can understand about 80% without subtitles. But again, there's so many tools that you can use. TED Talks are also good. You can adjust the speed on it. You can use subtitles, maybe in your first language or in English, and listen. I do this with Korean. I find taking notes, seeing what I can understand is very helpful. Listening to the same thing over and over is really helpful. If you're interested in it, if it's a boring video, stop, right? Find something interesting. All right, so what about you? What's your favorite show or YouTube channel to practice English listening? Tell me in the chat, or maybe in a comment later, because I feel like something is wrong with the chat. I have a story, actually. Well, it's not really a story. Well, it is a story, an anecdote. I have an anecdote about that. So at the beginning of every semester, I have usually around 100, 125 university students every semester, and I take 2 days to sit down with them one-on-one, just for 5 minutes or so, and it's really useful for them and for me. And sometimes, like, their English is just excellent, and it seems like they maybe went to high school or grew up in the United States. And when that happens, either they did study in the US for a short time, or maybe Australia. But the other time that happens is they'll tell me they have never left Korea, but they watch shows in English, and that might be Friends. A lot of them like Friends. It's an old show, but oldie but a goodie. Yeah, they sound so fluent and natural because they've gotten a lot of natural listening input. Okay. So now we are at the Q&A and the thank you for listening part. So I'm going to give you an example. So someone once asked me, how can I stop translating in real conversations? And I already gave you one answer, which is memorizing expressions you can use in certain situations. For example, no problem and sounds good. But another way is to just practice. And there's 4 steps to that practice. And I don't have time to go over them, but I'll briefly tell you. So it's creating a habit where you're training your brain to think in English. Depending on your level, you start at the word level. You look around where you are and what can you say in English? Water bottle, keyboard, mouse. That's the lowest level. And you might add vocabulary there if you're like, oh, I don't know how to say this. What do you call this? You can probably you could take a picture and Google Lens will tell you. I just call it a clip. It might be called an alligator clip, but it's not a paper clip, even though it clips paper, but it's a clip. So word by word, and then you take that to the next level, which is sentences. I'm sitting in a chair. There's a mountain, and this could be during your commute or anytime. And then the next level, thinking about your day in English. So just basically practicing, oh, okay, I just woke up. I need to brush my teeth. What do I need to do today? I need to do this. I need to do that. And then I think the last level is a little bit of practicing a conversation in your mind or out loud if you're alone. My hair is doing crazy things. So playing the role of 2 parts and having a conversation, trying to do it in English. So make a habit of trying to think in English. 5 minutes a day can make such a big difference. All right, and we'll do a wrap up and a quick review. So mistake number 1, translating directly, and fix it by learning phrases and not just individual words. Mistake number 2, speaking too slowly or not starting to speak because of fear. So focus on the rhythm. Shadowing practice can be helpful with that. I have couple of videos with shadowing practice, and that helps with vocabulary too. Helps with listening, helps with speaking. Shadowing is really great. And just don't worry about the grammar when you're trying to practice speaking. Mistake number 3, not getting the listening practice. And you're getting the listening practice now because you have been here with me the whole time. So again, if this helped, please like the video, subscribe for more tips. Wherever you are in the world, have a great day. And just know that you can do this. You can do it. English, there's so many resources out there. And if it's a mindset issue, there's so many resources to help you shift that mindset. And I hope to see you again in another live stream. Bye.